Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Wholesale.fm podcast. We are the original voice of wholesale. I'm your host, Kevin Gallagher, and joining me on the broadcast today is Tom McElroy, who is the Vice President of Marketing and E-Commerce for Genco Marketplace. So, Tom, welcome to the program. How are you today?
I'm great, Kevin. Thanks for having me.
Fantastic. So tell us a little bit about Genco Marketplace. What exactly is Genco? How long have you guys, been in business, etc.?
Well, Genco Marketplace is a fully owned subsidiary of Genco ATC, a leader in product lifecycle logistics, and in fact one of the top three in the United States. Genco Marketplace is a division where we take the returns and a lot of the excess product that we are provided by the Genco ATC engine, and we make those goods available to a wide range of buyers in the wholesale industry. A lot of our product is customer returns, which we find to be a very profitable source for buyers in the marketplace. Genco Marketplace itself has been around a little over 10 years, and our online presence, GetThatWholesale.com, as website has been with us 5, and we just did a brand new refresh. The site went live 2 weeks ago with a brand new look and feel.
Wow. So what about your background personally? What would you like people to know about what you do there and your background?
I've been with Genco Marketplace for about a year, leading the marketing and all of the e-commerce initiatives. That's both the wholesale site, GencoMarketplace.com, but also our retail site where we sell to end customers, KnowBetterDeal.com. Prior to that, I was with Dell for 14 years, the computer company. And then the last year, I was leading the Dell Outlet, which is all of Dell's sales of refurbished computers and computer equipment, and I led that for the United States as well as the Middle East and Africa.
Yeah, I know people who have bought from the Dell Refurb site as well as myself, and that was always a really fantastic deal that you could get there.
Glad to hear. Dell's been refining that channel for over 10 years, and I think they do quite a good job at it.
So can you tell us a little bit about the customer returns industry versus, say, the closeout industry? What would be the difference? Because that is something I think that a lot of buyers at times, even buyers, can actually get a little bit confused.
Absolutely. There are some important differences. One of the main things is that returns are products that are actually purchased. If there's a return product that comes back, it's generally something that a consumer wanted. When you look at closeouts and liquidation of excess inventory, you really run the risk that you're purchasing product where there was really not much demand. There was a legitimate reason why that excess existed. If you're looking at also buying the closeouts, you're going to pay more because there's still a new product, and that carries generally a price premium. What we find with returns, and especially .com returns, and a lot of the product that we make available through Genco Marketplace is coming from .com sources, you really get the best of both worlds. You get a product that's been purchased through a .com retailer, but you can buy them at liquidation prices, and they're generally very high quality, and let me explain that briefly. When we see .com returns, a large portion are just customer remorse. They either decided they didn't like it, the product wasn't what they expected, it was perhaps they found a cheaper price elsewhere and chose to return the .com item because they bought it at retail. So you get a very high percentage of products that are either in brand new or open box and like new condition, very quick to sell type of goods, and our customers are generally very, very pleased with the store returns as well as the .com returns.
That's fantastic. Is there any difference between a return essentially from a brick and mortar typical traditional store that people think of rather than, say, a .com?
We generally find that the brick and mortar returns have a little bit more use to them. For some reason, it's also a little bit more likely to be maybe missing some minor accessories and things like that, whereas the .com return products generally come back and they're, all the items are there and the product's in new or like new condition.
Excellent. Now, how does a retailer benefit from working with Genco as opposed to some of your competitors?
Well, the benefit of Genco is we're so large in the industry that we have a lot of direct liquidation contracts with many major retailers and manufacturers, including 6 of the top 10 online as well as retail outlets. In the secondary market, it's not unusual at all for a product to go through, multiple buyers. There's the wholesale liquidator, and downstream you've got someone that's a market maker that will divide the goods up and wholesale to someone else. And what comes with that is all these middleman markups along the way. When people buy from Genco Marketplace, you're getting direct from the source. We're getting it either from the original manufacturer or from the original retailer. So you're avoiding all that downstream markup and getting the product that's clean. No one's sifted through it. No one's taken the best things out of the pallet. You're getting the full pallet at its full value. The second thing that's very important is we provide manifests for virtually every single one of our lots, and that reduces buyer risk. So they can take a look at the manifest. They'll see each individual item that's included in the pallet or the load, and they can make a very wise purchase decision. In addition, online on our website in the very near future, we're going to be adding pictures of the pallets. So you'll see pictures of pallets, not only of the full pallet, but our intention is to actually show pictures of the pallet as it's being built. It's almost as if you have X-ray vision looking down inside that pallet to see the type of goods that are available for sale. So our whole goal is transparency. You know what you're getting, you know what you're buying, and ease of use, that there's an easy way for you to get that from us. And I think those things in tandem, the ability to buy direct from the original source as well as the transparency are, I think, really some things that separate Genco from others in the industry. Yeah,
that's excellent. Now, your sales, are they mostly through your website, or are they coming from other sources as well?
Well, we do the majority of our sales direct through our sales team. Everyone that does register through us on our website, of course, has the opportunity to buy online. But we generally find people have unique needs, or they want to put together, a particular selection of liquidation inventory, and oftentimes you find our sales reps are in the best condition to do that. That said, we've seen over a 25% increase in our online buying and over a 50% increase in customers year over year to last year. So we're seeing more buyers migrate to the web. It's got the benefit. You've got 24/7 browsing and shopping convenience. You can, look at the manifest anytime you want and do your own assessment. So we expect this trend to continue. We have our new website up. The website is designed to work less like a liquidation site and more like a consumer e-commerce site. So it's very easy to browse and navigate and check out the goods. And so while the majority of our products are still sold through our direct sales reps, we're seeing a large transition into the online environment.
Wow, that's really cool. Now, every business, every industry has trends. What are the trends right now in your industry?
I think we're seeing a challenge and then also some goodness coming from the current economy. Everyone realizes we're in a soft retail economy, and when retail sales go stagnant, the volumes of returns goes down, and it can be tougher to find sources of inventory out there if you're a market maker in this business. The one benefit of Genco Marketplace is, since we have direct liquidation contracts with these really large major chains and online retailers, we can ensure a steady flow of inventory. What you're also seeing, obviously, is a little bit change in the consumer mentality, more of a value-conscious economy. A lot of success in the off-price retailer stores and Dollar Generals and Family Dollars and TJ Maxx and companies like that doing very, very well, whereas your mainstream retailers are continuing to struggle. So, even though the economy is a little slow, we see that we're actually doing even better than we did in prior years through the secondary market with our liquidations.
It's fantastic. Now, with the economy the way it is today, is it better, for the marketplace, give a better marketplace with the customer returns, or do you have a better marketplace with the closeouts?
I think that really depends on the buyer. The people that we work with, we have a large percentage of small to medium buyers. We did a recent study of who those buyers are, how they like to buy, and we found that about 55% of our small and medium buyers work on eBay. Another 20%, in addition, has some other online presence, either through their own website or maybe through another auction portal. But we were surprised to find out that About 30% participate in live auctions, and 20% participate in flea marketers. So you really got a wide variety of customers. If you look at those type of buyers, customer returns were great. You get a nice diversity of product, generally in very good condition. You know, I need to be honest about the condition of the product. It's not all perfect. They are store returns. But the cost and the entry price of buying that product is so low that you might, you know, harvest the parts out of 2 things to make 10 good ones of something that you could go forward and resell. So, you know, closeouts, they have their place, but oftentimes it can be a challenge when you're taking on, you know, a lot of SKU depth, and what we provide the buyer is a lot of SKU breadth. So, you know, when you look at marketplaces to resell, eBay, Amazon, even the local off-price retail store, the customer returns are doing quite well.
It's doing quite well. So where do you see Genco Marketplace in the next year, into the next 5 years?
Well, I really honestly believe the sky's the limit. You know, if you look at the market data on the size of this industry, there was a report put out by the Sustainability Account Management Policy Journal in 2010, and they sized the entire liquidation market at $329 billion. That's tremendous.
Wow.
Of that $329 billion, about $130 billion is in liquidators, companies such as Genco Marketplace. You know, we are at a small fraction of that. You know, if you look at where products are coming back, about $54 billion a year is in consumer returns. In fact, the National Retail Federation estimates about 9% of all products that are purchased either online or at retail are returned. So we're dealing with a tremendous economy. It's almost 2% of the entire GDP of the U.S. economy. And so, you know, you look at a company the size of Genco Marketplace and many of our relationship partners, you know, we're only scratching the surface of the total opportunity that exists out there, and it's going to continue to grow. As online grows, as more people participate in buying products through .coms, that's going to generate a lot more of this sort of return inventory. You know, people today shop differently. They may buy 3 pairs of shoes online knowing that they're going to return 2 and keep 1 that fits. Or they might buy 2 things a different color because they're just not sure which one's going to make their taste. And the return policies are so liberal these days, you know, 30 days, no questions asked, and so on from online retailers, that it's just a great steady flow of good, reliable product.
That's interesting. There is a difference in the way people shop online than, say, how they shop if they're actually in a store.
That's absolutely true. I think of 2 thoughts come to mind there. One is, you know, when they're shopping online and they're shopping in the convenience of their home, I think they're more willing to take a risk on something than they are when they're sitting there and looking at it at the store. The other thing that we're seeing is just this huge migration from retail to online. You have a lot of people in stores going up, scanning the barcode of the item on the shelf, finding out that it's 15% cheaper online, and then they go home. They either order it right there in the store with their smartphone, or they wait and they buy it at home. So you are seeing an entire fundamental shift in the way people buy and the way the value-conscious shopper will purchase goods. That's
really interesting. Now, what's the best way for a buyer that's listening to this podcast today to be able to contact you? What are some of the best ways that a buyer can go about doing that?
Well, the very best way is to go onto our website, GencoMarketplace.com, and you know, browse our manifests and look at the products that we have, but register with us. We have over 1,000 people, new registrations every single month, and we ensure a contact call within 48 hours to every single person that registers with us. So you can be assured that if you reach out to us, we'll reach back to you, and we'll understand what your specific, unique needs are and help you find the type of inventory that fits for your business. We have everything from people who buy 1 pallet a month and work out of their garage, all the way to people that have grown businesses into multi-truckloads a week, you know, an incredible scale. So we really cater to everyone along the entire spectrum of buyers.
And you cover a wide spectrum of products as well, correct?
Oh, absolutely. We get everything from home improvement goods. We have, in fact, a relationship. We're the primary seller and a reseller of the Home Depot, and they have been gracious enough to allow us to share their name. So we're the primary source for all the Home Depot home improvement. We get goods, as I mentioned, from 6 of the top 10 retailers. It's everything from home improvement to baby goods to automotive to apparel, shoes. You name it. I think if it's in the market, we're large enough now that we're a market maker in everything from electronics to soft goods at this point.
And Tom, one more question. How can buyers, when they're buying a closeout type of inventory or returns, feel that they're getting the best quality product for the money?
That's a great question. What we see is there is some variability in some of the different loads. What we advise customers is, start off with a trial, but don't make your entire business decision on one particular load. You might find that the second load has 50 or even 100% more profit potential than the first load. So our advice is, try 2, try 3 times in the category goods you're looking for. You'll have a real good sense then of the type of inventory you'll be able to get on an ongoing basis. But I would be reticent to have anyone buy just one load and gauge their entire opportunity on that single load. Give it a few tries, and we're quite confident that the customers will be pleased and the profit potential will be there.
Well, thank you so much, Tom McElroy, for joining me here today. And folks, that's Tom McElroy, who's the Vice President of Marketing and E-Commerce for Genco Marketplace. Thank you for joining me today on the program.
Kevin.